Serious.
We're going to talk a little guards now, guys. You know I love sports. I love them so much that I never want them to stop. But as the playoffs wind down, we get fewer and fewer games, and the sports just aren't sportsing like I want them to. But FanDuel lets me keep the sports going whenever I want. All I have to do is open the app and dream up bets anytime I'm in the mood. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or bonus daily. That's right, there's something for everyone every day all summer long. So head over to FanDuel.com/UCSS and start making the most out of your summer. FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball and the official sportsbook of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. It was a 2-1 loss for the Guardians yesterday, but they did sign Matthew Boyd to help boost the rotation. Jay, Earl, G, are you guys hearing an audio delay? Do you guys hear that?
No, I'm not.
We're hearing it back here.
You mean mix minus?
Nope, it's fixed now. Nope,
Okay.
It's all good.
Yep, all right.
Okay, Guardians lost 2-1. They signed Matthew Boyd. What's your big takeaway from what we heard and learned from the Guardians on Thursday?
Hey, they took a flyer on a dude.
That's what it is.
Took a flyer. See what he talk about. Like, hey, look, at this point, Guardians this is the pre-move, right? Like, okay, let's see if we can get a little something
That's
out of this.
exactly what I was going to say.
Pre-move.
This is the warm-up act.
Right. Before they say, we really got to go in. You got me going in my stash now. You got me going in my big bank account. I got to go up top. That's what they doing. They could kick the tires on this move, see what he got, give him a couple starts, maybe see where he fits in the rotation. I think they signifies something, though. It signifies, if you're talking about a big bat in the right field or trying to get more hitting, I think they've signified that they're more on the lines. We need some more pitching. Carrasco, when you watch him, McKenzie, when you watch him, even Allen. Allen is every other start. He can get hit hard or he pitches really great. So when you got three of those guys coming, and you got Gavin Williams who hasn't had to start yet, so he may have a setback at some point. Now
Don't say that. Don't say
knock
that.
on wood. They need some pitchers. They need some arms. I think this is the warm-up, the prelude to them really going after some pitching down the stretch.
Yeah, I felt the same way. Like when I seen his name, I remember seeing him pitch for the Nationals more so than I did in Detroit. But
Right.
This is a dude that, he was decent, got some stuff, and you're taking a flyer on a guy who's had some success. This front office has shown that they know how to identify talent more often than not. And when you take a flyer on a guy like this, it's addressing it, you're doing something to try to address the issue. And the issue is we've had lackluster starting pitching for the majority of the season, whether it be to injury or just bad performance. So you get a guy like in here, see what he can do for you. It reminds me of the Ben Lively situation, to be totally honest with you.
That's exactly where I was going.
Yeah, a guy that when we got him into our organization, we didn't know what we really had. It was a guy that, okay, if we really need you, hopefully it's still something in the tank that you can deliver. And he's been more than phenomenal since he's had his opportunities to show what he can do. So I trust Antonetti and them guys to make sure that they are handling their business.
I feel like this move is about innings and eating innings. Mm-hmm. You look at, when the season starts, you look at your bullpen as 4 tires, and you're constantly checking the rubber on those tires. Do we have good tread? Where are we? And you gauge that throughout the season. The first quarter of the season, their usage was incredibly high. Starters weren't going deep into games. They still really haven't stretched out much. They really haven't.
Nope.
It's funny, you guys really stole almost all of my lines. This is the warm-up act, for sure. This is not like, okay, we're good, let's go.
No.
Order your playoff tickets. Not even close. This is a need that Stephen Vogt had to have addressed. It gives him a little bit of a safety net when it comes to pitching. Tristan, shaky. Cookie, although good his last 2 times out,
Getting hit hard.
shaky.
Though. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the home run, it drives me nuts. He's missing on the fat part of the plate. And these guys, the other night, he gave up all the solo shots. It's like he's pitching well, and then he just inexplicably throws cookies that are like center cut fillets. And you know what happens when you do that to big league pitchers. So I think Matthew Boyd is a Band-Aid. It's a in case I need you, break glass. So he's not going to be thrown into the rotation unless Cookie or Tristan or somebody has to go on the extended IL. But I also was going to say this is Ben Lively part 2. Here's what I like about the move. It's a real flyer because he just had elbow reconstruction.
Mm-hmm.
So, and by the way, this move is pending a past physical, and I don't know that he's passed it yet. I haven't seen that he has.
I have not seen anything that officially confirms he has passed or unpassed.
And it's not unlikely for that caveat to be written in because he's coming off UCLR. When you have that surgery, you're almost working with a new arm. It's like a new engine gets dropped into a car.
So
the body is the same.
Let me ask you about
but the power plant is different.
Let me ask you about the physical. Does he need to actually throw the baseball in a simulated setting?
They'll likely give him an
bullpen?
MRI. They may take ultrasound images.
But he does not have to physically throw the baseball without signs of.
I would
pain.
imagine that the team has already seen him do that. I
Okay.
mean, before you're not going to buy a car without going to look at it.
Right.
I don't know exactly what the process was before they signed him. I would imagine that there was a workout. I would imagine that was the case. But the physical will tell all of them. The thing that you don't want if you're the Guardians right now is another elbow injury.
Yeah.
Gavin Williams is in the wings, and he's coming. And we're going to talk more about Gavin Williams. We're going to do that later. But I like the move. I don't hate it by any stretch of the imagination. But I hope that the Guardians don't sit back now and say, okay, now we're loaded for bear. Because they're not. They're not.
Because look, hey, I say that at the time when the Guardians played the Orioles, the Guardians when they won that series, I said they're the best team in the American League, right? At this point in time. The problem is I still keep seeing Aaron Judge hit these grand slams. I still see the Orioles in their lineup, and I'm like, dang, they got power all the way through their lineup like that. They're gonna need some arms.
I look at two things. I look at the standings and the records, and I also look at how teams match up against one another.
Right.
And the Yankees have a favorable matchup against the Guardians.
Oh yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
So even though I would say that the Guardians are right there with them in terms of winning percentage and their record, I've seen them in a series, and I saw enough to say decidedly Yankees have an advantage. We have holes that they do not.
Yeah.
And we have to address those holes. We all know what they are. It's funny, last week I talked about how our order flips at 6. And you can't flip it at 6. You can maybe flip it at 8 or 9. You can't flip it at 6. After I said that, the 7, 8, 9 guys went on absolute rips.
I should have texted you.
Arias
I'm watching the game saying, holy hell. I was just kicking dirt on these guys, and all of a sudden, Bo Naylor's added 30 points to his batting average. Rocchio, Freeman, you see signs of these guys
Gabriel
breaking
Arias
out.
is looking like the
Arias looks like he's a baller all of a sudden again. So the problem is, though, the last 2 games, the beef bats have been silent.
Very, very silent.
We're going to need these guys to carry them because all of that, when you do get production out of 7, 8, 9 that's unexpected, that's a bonus. And you're going to win 9-8 games.
Yeah.
You're going to win 8-6, 8-4, 8-2. But the 2-1 games, you've got to have your big bats performing in those games. And they didn't in the last game against Baltimore, and they didn't yesterday.
And the problem they got is the big 3. They got Naylor, Ramirez, and Kwan. If one of those 3 go into a slump, it's all of a sudden hard to get runs now.
It is.
Especially if Kwan's not on base.
Kwan now, I don't even know what we should call it a slump because he's still getting hits, but he was 1 for 5 yesterday. His average is down to 373.
He had his longest hitless streak of the season. It was 8 bats.
Yeah, that's insane.
8 at bats.
And so I just wanted to throw this out there. We had the 400 conversation last week. I thought it was ludicrous. I don't know why we even went there.
It's officially dead.
Tyvus gets so excited. Tyvus is like a kid at Christmas.
I got a text.
He's going to do it. He's going to hit 400.
Because I was out, and then the next Monday, I come on the show talking the same thing. I got a text, man, you and Tyvus done lost y'all damn mind.
Yeah, no one's hitting 400 in today's game. It's just not going to happen. Not for a full season. And, if you think about it, his march to 400 is as good a chance as you can have because he missed a month. He's still going to qualify with the number of at-bats. But you're not going to do it over 6 months. Maybe you can do it over 5 months. Maybe.
And now it feels like them at bats is creeping up on him because now, like, guess what? More of a sample size.
That's right. And he's regressing to the mean.
The UCSS omen is real. We're sitting here talking about him regressing to the mean. Stephen Kwan is going to go on a 20-game hitting streak next.
Let's do it. Come on, Stephen. We're here for it.
This is how it happens, right?
Yeah.
We should sit up here and talk about how the Guardians ain't throwing no hitter and God knows how long.
Yeah,
so
let's
we can
do
go
that
out
every
there
day.
and throw a no hitter.
Let's open every single UCSS show by saying it's been 10,462 days
like
since the Guardians threw their last no-hitter.
Anytime we kind of like throw some dirt or some shade at any Guardians player this season, they come back and they ball out. So
you're right.
Jeez.
All right, guys, we have talked Cavs, we've talked Guardians. It's time to talk Browns, but first.